Hey there, my fellow anglers and fishing fanatics. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your fishing buddy, and today we're diving deep into what promises to be a truly fascinating day on the water. Friday, February 6th, 2026. Now, many of you might think February means hanging up the rods, but let me tell you, this day is shaping up to be one of contrasts, offering some truly unique opportunities if you know where to look. We're going to break down exactly why this day will be special for fishing across the diverse landscapes of the United States. So, grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk fish. First up, let's talk about the stars of our show and the tactics to reel them in. For those of you bracing the cold in the northern and central states where ice fishing is king, our target species will primarily be walleye, northern pike, and perch. These cold water warriors are tough, but they're catchable. You'll want to focus your efforts on deeper structures. Think submerged humps, points, and channel edges, especially near any remaining green weeds if you can find them. The fish's metabolism is slowed by the chilly water, so a slow, methodical approach is key. For walleye, jigging spoons tipped with a minnow head or a small tungsten jig with a plastic grub worked just off the bottom can be deadly. Perch will often school up, so once you find one, there's likely more. Small ice jigs with waxworms or spikes are your best bet. Pike, being opportunistic predators, will respond well to larger dead baits like a frozen smelt or sucker, set on a tip-up in slightly shallower water, adjacent to those deeper drop-offs. Remember, friends, patience is your greatest virtue on the ice. Now, for my southern coastal comrades, particularly along the Gulf Coast and in Florida, you're looking at a different game entirely. Species like redfish, speckled trout, and sheep's head will be on the menu. On mild days, these fish will often push into warmer, shallower flats, especially those with dark, heat-absorbing mud bottoms in the afternoons. Look for sun-drenched coves, oyster beds, and creek mouths where the water temperature might be a few degrees higher. Live shrimp, mud minnows, or small finger mullet are incredibly effective, fished slowly on a Carolina rig or under a popping cork if the water is calm. For redfish, soft plastic paddle tails, swim baits in natural colors, rigged on a light jig head and worked slowly along the bottom, can entice a strike. Sheep's head, with their notorious nibble, will require a keen eye and quick reflexes, using small pieces of fiddler crab or shrimp near pilings and jetties. And for the river anglers targeting trout in tailwaters or the southern Appalachians, it's all about finding those stable water temperatures. Rainbows and browns will be feeding, but they'll be selective. Focus on slower, deeper runs, pools with good structure, and side channels. The best activity usually happens between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. after the sun has had a chance to warm the water just a few degrees. Small nymphs and midge patterns fished dead drift under an indicator or with a Euro nymphing setup will be your go-to. Sometimes a tiny dry fly might even tempt them if a hatch occurs, but subsurface is generally more reliable this time of year. Light tippets and a subtle presentation are crucial here. Let's break down the conditions for February 6th, 2026. Weather. For many parts of the USA, February 6, 2026, could bring variable conditions. In the northern states, expect typical winter chill, with air temperatures potentially ranging from single digits to the low 30s Fahrenheit. Atmospheric pressure might be stable or slowly rising after a cold front, which can improve fishing after a day or two of inactivity. Winds in the north could be light and variable, but watch out for cold north or east winds, which typically shut down the bite. However, in the southern coastal regions, there's a good chance of milder air, with temperatures possibly reaching the 50s, 60s, or even low 70s Fahrenheit, especially under sunny skies and with a gentle south wind. This kind of weather, coupled with potentially rising barometric pressure, is a significant trigger for fish activity. Any precipitation in the north will likely be snow, while the south might see clear skies or light cloud cover, which can provide good cover for getting closer to trout. Water temperature. Across much of the United States, water temperatures in early February are generally at their seasonal lowest. In the northern lakes, expect hard water or near-freezing open water. In coastal Carolina waters, temperatures typically range from the upper 40s to the low 50s Fahrenheit, pushing most fish into deeper, more stable environments. The Gulf Coast and parts of Florida, however, will offer significantly warmer water, possibly in the mid-70s Fahrenheit, which keeps many species active. For trout, water temperatures above 40 degrees Fahrenheit are ideal for activity. The key will be to find those slight temperature advantages, south-facing banks, dark bottoms, or spring-fed areas, where fish will congregate to conserve energy and feed. Moon phase. On February 6, 2026, the moon will be in its waning gibbous phase, with an illumination of about 80%. This phase follows the full moon and is moving towards the last quarter. While some traditional fishing law suggests that fishing can be slower immediately after a full moon, the Old Farmer's Almanac for this specific day indicates a poor fishing potential, although the day after transitions to fair. Personally, I view the moon phase as just one piece of the puzzle. It's more about how fish react to other, more immediate environmental factors like weather and water temperature. Don't let the moon phase deter you, but be aware that fish might be a bit more finicky. Overall fish activity, given the typically cold water and the waning gibbous moon, fish metabolism across much of the country will be slowed. This means the overall activity will likely be capricious but potentially rewarding for the prepared angler. In the colder regions, fish will be lethargic and less inclined to chase, requiring precise presentations. However, if you find areas with slightly warmer water or stable conditions, you can hit pockets of good activity. In the warmer southern regions, a favorable weather window with rising pressure and mild temperatures could trigger a good bite, especially in the afternoons. It's a day where adaptability and understanding fish behavior will truly set you apart. So, my friends, for February 6th, 2026, I'm calling the bite capricious, with moments of good activity, heavily dependent on your location and approach. The combination of cold, slowed metabolism and a post-full moon phase suggests that fish will be a bit more challenging. However, any mild weather fronts, especially in the south or stable high-pressure systems in the north, will create crucial feeding windows. Focus on warmth, slow presentations, and don't be afraid to try different depths. All right, my angling family, that's your forecast for February 6th, 2026. I wish you all bent rods and screaming reels. May your lines be tight and your coolers be full. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe for more fishing tips and predictions, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single upload. And tell me in the comments below, what are your plans for fishing this winter? What's your go-to cold weather species and what's your secret weapon bait? I love hearing your stories and insights. Tight lines, everyone, and I'll catch you on the next one.